Hello guys, Ulysses with you, and today we're gonna read second chapter of my novel, I Become the Strongest in One Day, so let's get to it. Chapter's name is Home. After 2 hours of careful walking, Noor finally reached his home. Finally, I'm home, he signed, stepping into the small wooden house built from logs. After closing the door behind him, he froze. Silence greeted him. I still can't get used to the fact that he's gone. Noor slowly walked past the empty living room. He entered the small room where a bucket of water stood, scooping some water into his palms. Noor washed his face, rinsing off the blood and dirt. So, Noor gets home after 2 hours of walking, of careful walking. Why he was walking carefully, you can see in chapter 1 when he uses his powers and jumped really high. Then he goes into his house where we can clearly see that he's exhausted and just sad, because from what he said we can understand that he lost somebody. After that he went to his room and stopped in front of the mirror. So after taking a little bath time, he went to his room and stopped in front of the mirror to look at himself, and looking back at him was a boy around 17 or 18 years old, black hair like tar, brown eyes and face where youth and exhaustion strangely mixed together. So he is 17 years old, black hair, and let's see what we got more. He was around 185 centimeters tall with a slim but toned body. Noor silently stared at his reflection for a few seconds, then he let out a heavy sigh, sat down on the bed, and almost immediately fell asleep, unable to withstand the tension that had built up inside him. So after long day, after being chased by the wolf, after going home for 2 hours carefully, Noor sat on the bed and immediately fell asleep. Yeah. Noor, wake up! Noor! Grandpa, I am up! Noor shouting up in the bed. But after looking around the room, he froze. No one was there. So we can see that he has some dreams about somebody that he lost. And yeah, alright, Grandpa is gone. So in this sentence we understand that he lost his grandpa, and that's why he is sad. He whispered quietly, running a hand through his hair. For a moment he lowered his gaze, then he took a deep breath. Alright, I need to figure this out. How did it go again? Status? So he said status, and a window instantly appeared before his eyes. Status, name Noor Werner, age 17, level 889, stage supreme, potential infinite, strength, intelligence, constitution, endurance, agility, mana, additional points, shop, mount, inventory, and so on and so on. Not froze, carefully reading the lines. Name and age, they match. But after that, level 989, what does level even mean? In this stage, I was only at the pre-int stage at most. Then what is supreme supposed to mean? He did not understand what is all this stuff and all these letters. Fine. I'll figure that out later. Potential, what even is that? His gaze moved lower. Strength, intelligence, constitution. What are these numbers and why are they so huge? I don't know about huge in the case of numbers, but I'm gonna maybe change it in the future. And mana 15 millions, is that a lot or not? That's probably strange as well, because if you just saw huge numbers to all of your stats, then why are you asking is that a lot? If you say that 3 million for 4 million almost is a lot, then 15 millions is fucking huge. And what are this shop, map, inventory? After hesitating for a moment, Noor decided to try the same method as with the status window. Shop. A new window immediately appeared in front of him. Error, unable to open shop without access to mana. What? He tried again, map, the same error, inventory, again the same result. Noor let out a heavy sigh. Got it, I don't get anything. Got it, I don't get anything. As he thought it over, he noticed the light outside the window from the corner of his eye. It's already daytime. He got up and headed outside. Stepping out his house, Noor looked up at the sky. It was clear, bright blue, not a single cloud. For a second he even relaxed. But in the next moment his expression changed. The memory hit him instantly. He had shot up hundreds of meters into the air. Nor swallowed nervously. "Damn, I hate heights," Nor muttered, walking toward the white tree whose trunk was covered in old cuts and marks from previous strikes. He stopped in front of it and looked over the familiar scars. "After reaching the apprentice stage, I trained here. Let's see what's changed." Nor took a step forward, stopping about 30 centimeters away from the trunk, raised his right hand and clenched his fist. So like this, but the right hand. But at the last second he froze. The memory of what had happened to the wolf yesterday flashed before his eyes. Better take it easy. So he decided to not go full blast, but take it easy, and that's probably a good idea because I didn't know what should have I write if he would just smack this tree with all his powers. He exhaled and threw a light punch. So a light punch, just to see what is gonna happen. Crack, in the next instant, his fist went straight through the trunk. The tree trembled and then it broke. So he easily broke the tree. The massive trunk began falling straight toward him with a heavy crack. What in panic, Nor jumped to the side, and in that same second he realized his mistake. Damn it! His body launched away. The ground vanished beneath his feet. Nor flew dozens of meters, smashing into trees after tree, breaking branches and punching through the trunks until he finally crashed into the ground. So, because of the adrenaline and the little fear to be smashed by a tree, he jumped, but he used too much force, so he just flew dozens of feet away, smashing into everything on the way, and then a dull impact. Silence followed again. He muttered, lying face first in the dirt. After getting up and looking at the line of trees his body had broken, Nor decided to check his fist. To his surprise, there wasn't a single scratch on it, only dust from the ground. "What happened to me?" Nor said quietly, clenching his fist. So Nor do not understand what is happening to him, why and how he obtained this power, and yeah, that's scary for him because after that he ran a few more experiments and quickly understood one thing: he couldn't properly control his new strength. So because of how overwhelming his powers are, he understood that he cannot properly control them. Every strike was either too weak or destructive. As for jumping, he didn't even try. We understand why. After yesterday, he'd had enough. When it started getting dark, Nor returned to the house. Silence greeted him as always. He sat down and thought. "Looks like it's time for me to leave," just like grandpas used to say. A familiar voice surfaced in his memory. "Nor, how long are you planning to keep living off me? It's time for you to start earning your own money." "Grandpa, I'm 6. That evening, he began packing his things. Some clothes, a few useful items, and most importantly, 2 gold coins left behind by his grandfather. So grandfather left him some money, even though he was probably cheap grandpa. Held the night, Nor kept opening the status window again and again, reading, staring, trying to understand, but nothing changed. Eventually, exhaustion took over and he fell asleep. In the morning, after packing everything he needed into the sack and throwing it over his back, Nor stopped at the exit. He looked at the living room one last time, at the table, at the window, at everything that had been his home. He took a deep breath. "We'll come back here someday." With those words, he stepped outside, closed the door and locked it. But before setting out, Nor walked around the house and headed behind it. There, beside a large stone, stood a simple wooden cross. Nor stopped in front of it and remained silent for a few seconds. "Well, Grandpa, I'm leaving now. Don't get too lonely here without me." As he said those words, he felt a warm breeze touch his face and drift off into the distance. For a moment, Nor almost felt like he could hear the familiar grumpy voice again. Come on already, get going. My bones are too old to keep babysitting you. And where is my kettle?" Yeah, he would have said something exactly like that, Nor thought, smiling faintly. After that, he turned around and walked toward the city, Ravenport. It was about 7 kilometers from his home. "I think I can make it in an hour." Nor stepped forward into his new life. So that's the chapter 2. Nor confused with all these numbers and how this works. So I think there's some things that need to be changed. in text, so I will be happy to read some of your comments below. Maybe I need to change something, maybe I did like some holes and in the plot and I need to fill them up. So please write the comments. I will read everything. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, have a nice day. Ilya with you, and goodbye.